What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another SLA video. Folks, we have ourselves some big news from none other than Alpha Leaker himself. And this is when I feel comfortable talking about leaks, is when I hear from my man. So shout out to Alpha for giving us this crazy information. So get ready to get all this news down. It's pretty big. All right, so first off, let's go to PvP. That's something that we talked about earlier, saying that the leaks said it might have been delayed. Well, it looks like it is actually going to be ready according to leaks. The files are in there and they're ready to go. So we're probably going to get PvP this upcoming patch. So this Thursday, we should see PvP landing. So we'll be making guides, brand new things. If you haven't seen PvP before, guys, it is going to be available soon. And it is not what you think it is if you've never seen it. It's not an action RPG PvP. It's not like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's not like what you're playing now. It's actually a turn-based RPG where it's like auto, everything's auto, and you just kind of give commands to your leader, who's essentially you, and you essentially buff your units. You give your units a couple of different things. So let me show you guys what it's going to look like. All right, now if you guys can see over here, this is what the actual field looks like. You enter in with 2 different units and you have 5 in total. And the way it works is the 2 units will start off, and then eventually with these little commands down here in the bottom, which is you're like the leader, essentially like the coach almost, you will then add either buffs, additional debuffs to your opponent. You can give your units shields, or you can enter in more units as well too. So you guys can see over here like how it works. Like the opponents are all like, there's HP up here, there's the opponent's name or your name, there's a time limit. So it's 5 minutes of fight. It's a pretty long fight, guys. And as you can see over here, there's like buffs in the bottom with an energy bar. And essentially the way it works is the units will start PvPing right here. You guys can see they're both fighting. And then eventually somebody will come into the fight as well too. And one of those units will be available. Look, you give someone a buff, and look, Mei Lin jumps in, right? You see Mei Lin over here coming in now. She does have the same level of skills. So I believe she'll be able to remove shields, etc., right? So these are like, strategically, you're gonna have to figure out what units to use. Now, I don't know if there's any elemental advantages in this. Like, I don't know if like the dark is gonna be strong against light, light's gonna be strong against dark, etc. Wind, whatever. You know, I don't know if that's gonna occur because you see here, you don't really see the damage, right? You just see the HP go down. So none of that happens. But there are breaks, there are shields, there is buffs, there are debuffs, etc. So PvP is going to be available, and as I mentioned before, there are QTEs, there are ultimates, etc. all there. So it's going to be all turn-based, not really turn-based, but like auto-based RPG with you doing certain commands to buff and support your units along the way. Okay, so let's get that's going to be available very soon. I'm personally not a big fan of this. I was hoping we'd be able to control everything, but it is what it is. We'll see how it is. We'll be making guides on it anyways to give you guys a hand on best managing this. And again, 5 minutes of fight is a very, very long time. And I'm wondering, because you can see his HP is almost full, if shielders are going to be the meta, because quite honestly, I feel like they're going to be next to impossible to kill unless you bring like a Mei Lin or a Dong Su or something. Look at his, like no HP loss, like 0 HP. He did get broken there, but no HP loss at all. It's crazy. So I think the shield meta is going to be a pretty big problem. So we'll see if that's going to be the case and how the game handles that and how they deal with it. Now he's finally started to lose a little bit of HP. All right, now let's go on to the next thing. Now, real quick, guys, I know a lot of you have been asking about the content creator program and why you can't support or resubscribe. Well, because the season has ended. For those who did extend, thank you so much. We went down to 1,632 people. Most of our content creators go through this. Like, I think Zaf was almost like 16,000. He's down to 5. I went from like 3.4 to down 0.11632. Ochi Games went down to 964, etc. So if you don't extend, unfortunately, we can't give you additional codes. But the new season will start within a week. So we'll definitely let you guys know. So you can definitely support again. But anyone who did support and resupports again, thank you so much. Remember to go join the Discord. I will be giving away your prizes. That is giveaways for $100 to any supporter who joins the giveaway. It's a random winner. 150 to my top 100, random winner there. And then of course my number 1 will, as usual, get $200 through giveaway. Season 15, guys, is coming. So make sure you keep an eye out on that and support your boy for the next upcoming season. All right, now the next big news. Now, we know infusers are becoming the thing right now in the game, that the game has been like kind of pushing down our throats. Well, that's going to be no different for Sung Jinwoo. Now we have a little bit of news from Alpha, and I'm going to share this with you guys. So the next couple things to note is that the upcoming weapons are going to be Dark and Wind. So first one's going to be Dark. Yes, Dark is finally getting a new weapon. We talked about this before, how Dark needs a little bit of love. Well, it looks like Dark is finally getting that love. We're not sure what the weapon is yet, but it's going to be coming very, very soon. And then the following weapon is going to be Wind. Now, that's not the big news. Good thing, I guess, to note from that is we may as well start expecting the fact that the next few elements for WOBL might in fact actually end up being what we just said, might end up being wind and dark. So get ready for that, okay? Now, with that being said, that gives a couple different things. Igris some light to shine, right? They give Sunghill 1 some light to shine. Hopefully that's the case. And because he really hasn't been used for much outside of GB and maybe Guild Boss. And then of course it gives the ability for the new Igris to shine as well too, if this is what they're going to be introducing. So a couple big things coming down the pipe, guys. And also another big thing that's coming as well too, Sung Jinwoo is actually going to have some skills. That's right, like the skills over here that you guys can use of actually being an infuser. So they're adding infusion skills for Sung Jinwoo. So now not only are you going to be able to DPS with him with his new weapons, but you're now going to also be able to support your team with infusion skills, which is a big deal, guys. And now the reason why that's a big deal is you can also avoid bringing infusers into the fight, or you can bring an infuser and then multiply the amount of times the infusion goes faster, right? So bringing an infusion Sung Jinwoo with skills is going to be probably a pretty big meta to go with for a while, and I think that's going to change the landscape of how he's used as a support and how he's used as a DPS. So very big things coming down the pipe. Now, infusers are going to probably be the next few releases. Like we have Igris as an infuser, then we have Sung Ki-hoon coming out at the same time as a breaker for Dark, right? So that gives Dark what they needed all along. And then after that, it's going to be giving the water infuser with Mary, who's coming out in February. And then we're going to probably get Sugimoto as the next infuser for probably Wind. I'd imagine Wind. And then there's Anton, right? Anton's coming as a national level hunter. He also might end up being an infuser for Wind, or if they make Sugimoto, for example, a DPS, or if they make him, I don't know. Like, honestly, it's a little hard with him. He might be a breaker to replace Goto, because he did replace him in the guild as well as the guild leader when Goto died. But we also may see him become a DPS and replace Leonard, right? And then Antoine becoming the infuser instead. And then in the month of May, that's the 2-year anniversary. Now, this I'm assuming is going to be a what-if character, kind of like Chao was, or we may see another collab. So we may see a collab come out then. We also, of course, have the pet system that was talked about a long time ago that hasn't been introduced. And then on top of that, we have June, which I'd say is probably the biggest month for solo leveling in regards to character release, with the release of Liu Zhegang. And that's going to be another what's currently as leaked as a light infuser. So it is going to definitely be half a year, guys, of infusers. That gives us all the infusers, right? We have Fire with Christopher Reed, we have Dark with Igris, we have Wind, it's either going to be Sugimoto or it's going to be Anton for sure. One of those two are probably going to be infusers. We have Light Infuser coming up hopefully soon, and I'm assuming that's going to be somebody else. It's either going to be Liu or somebody else. So that's going to be June. We have Mary for Water, right? So I think that covers all the elements. I don't think we're missing anything right now. I'll think about it. Yeah, I think that covers everyone. So all infusers will be covered by then. And on top of that, now Sung Jinwoo is going to also be an infuser with the abilities to probably infuse every single element. So probably the next few skills that are going to come out for him are going to be infusion skills for every element that's covered currently in the game, and then probably future ones as well too. So there you guys go. It is going to be the year in the infuser. We're getting brand new weapons. We're getting PvP. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about all these changes that are happening and all these upgrades. If you're excited or if you don't care, whatever the case may be, these are the things that are going to be happening, guys. So get ready. Hopefully you guys enjoy the game still. Hopefully you guys are still playing around. I know a lot of the veterans are kind of bored, and I'm hoping to see quite a few of you guys come back. If not, it doesn't matter. Hopefully we get an influx of new players. That way the game continues growing, and we continue getting all these crazy good updates that will hopefully change the landscape of the game and how we play it, and make it more exciting for the rest of us. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, leave notifications on. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.